Straight ahead on WBKB, Alpena Public Schools returns to in-person learning today.
Plus, Michigan hits a vaccination milestone and how one man overcomes an alcohol addiction.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz, the Mondays. New COVID infections are down in 23 states, and more than 100 million Americans are now fully vaccinated. As
cases decline in some states, more restrictions are being lifted. Natalie Brand has the latest.
With an executive order, Florida's governor suspended all local COVID emergency mandates.
That is an anti-science posture to say that we need all these restrictions even with mass vaccination, because the numbers of the vaccines are better than the clinical trials were in terms of the effectiveness.
Broadway and other businesses are getting ready to reopen after New York's governor announced he's lifting statewide capacity restrictions later this month.
Today is a milestone for New York State.
Florida and New York are among 23 states where infections are going down. But in 5 states, cases are on the rise, including Oregon. State health officials say the UK variant is one factor driving the increase.
It's hard to see another surge coming now, especially since so many of the hospitalized patients now are younger and requiring the most intensive interventions.
In response, Oregon's governor has reinstated restrictions on gyms and restaurants.
Out of concern of new variants spreading, the Biden administration is restricting travel from India starting Tuesday as cases there set a new global record.
But U.S. travel is taking off. The TSA says it screened more than 1.6 million passengers at airport checkpoints Sunday, the highest number since the pandemic hit. CDC data shows more than 40% of U.S. adults are now fully vaccinated. To help reach the remaining Americans, health officials are now working on a new effort to make it easier to get vaccinated at your primary care physician's office. Natalie Brent, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
Michigan hit a vaccination milestone today. About 50% of residents have gotten their COVID shot. Governor Whitmer announced Monday that over 7 million vaccine doses have been provided. That means 1 in 2 Michiganders has received a shot and 1 in 3 is fully vaccinated. Whitmer says we're making progress towards vaccinating 70% of adults. Reaching that goal would allow the state to lift the mask and gathering orders. A Johnson & Johnson vaccination clinic is scheduled in Rogers City on Wednesday. You can call the number on our website to pre-register for one of the 20 available shots. Alpena Public Schools returned to in-person learning Monday. The district is coming off 2 weeks of fully remote classes.
Yeah. Administrators say they will strictly enforce protocols to prevent the further spread of COVID-19. They say the success of these next 5 weeks depends on willingness to do what's in the best interest of the health and safety of others. Face masks, social distancing, proper hand hygiene, and staying home when showing symptoms of COVID-19 are all health and safety protocols Alpena Public Schools will observe to prevent the further spread of the virus. The district has been fully online since April 19th. Administrators say they're hopeful they can finish the school year without any further interruptions to face-to-face instruction. And the district is asking for everyone's cooperation as they approach the end to a challenging school year.
It's nice to see the kids back in school.
Absolutely.
Here's meteorologist Ellie Morrison with a first check of the weather. Ellie, is it dried up yet?
Tyler, a bit tough to get up on this Monday with the gloomy and damp weather that we had. A lot of us have been catching a break of dry weather through the afternoon. That's a break from the rain, but not a break from the cloud cover and even in some spots foggy conditions that we have been seeing. And in fact, some mist and fog reported in Alpena at 44 degrees, cloudy in Oscoda at 46. That's the beginning of our next round of showers that's going to be moving in later this evening. So showers are going to spread in from the west. It's still going to take a few hours to reach our area. We're looking at about after 10 p.m. for that next round of rain to get going, and then it's going to rain through the nighttime hours and into the early morning tomorrow, but we should see drier conditions beginning to kick in tomorrow afternoon. I'll let you know when we'll see the sunshine, but also how long these cool temperatures are going to last a bit later in the program.
Thanks for that, Ellie. Please let me know when we'll see the sunshine. We'll check back in with you in a bit. It's almost been a week since we first reported of a home invasion in Alpena. WBKB's Tiffany Maddox has more on the story.
I'm here in Alpena at DPI as this is the last place where police saw two men who are accused of invading a home and assaulting a man. Police say two black males forced their way into a home on South 2nd Avenue where they demanded valuables and ended up hitting a man with a gun. Those two men then left that home where police followed them when the two men abandoned their gray car and ran behind the DPI facility. Now, during that search, police were able to find two guns on Miller Street. Now, I was able to speak to Alpena Police Chief Joel Jett earlier, and he did tell me that this investigation is still ongoing. He also says that the community is not in any immediate danger at this time. Now, WBKB will continue to follow the story and keep you posted as any updates arise. Reporting in Alpena, Tiffany Maddox, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Tiffany. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. A national mental health survey found that 83% of those diagnosed with depression say life would be easier if others could understand what they're going through. Medical experts say new technologies could help more people understand the illness, even those who don't suffer from depression. Innovations like genetic testing are now available to help analyze how a patient's genes may affect their outcomes from prescribed medications. And tune in to WBKB all month long as we highlight mental health issues.
As Alcohol Awareness Month comes to a close, we speak with one person who shares his interesting journey with this disease. WBKB's Stephanie Minichi has more.
2 trips to a psychiatric facility after a near suicide attempt, 3 failed marriages, all collapsing around me trying to hide my drug and alcohol use.
There are many contributing factors as to why people abuse alcohol. For Cuban, his issues stemmed from childhood.
When I began drinking to excess, it was really to mute my feelings about myself. I was a heavy kid. I was bullied pretty severely. I was even physically assaulted over my weight.
Cuban says there's a difference between cause and correlation, and he doesn't blame anyone for his addiction. He says in 2007, his then girlfriend drove him to a psychiatric hospital after he had a blackout.
Standing in that parking lot, a few things occurred to me. 1, there wouldn't be a 3rd trip back to that facility. I'd be dead. 2, she was going to leave me.
Cuban says he also thought about his father, expressing the importance of family. Centers for Disease Control says alcohol abuse produces a chemical called acetaldehyde that damages your DNA beyond repair. When DNA is damaged, a cell can begin growing out of control, creating a cancer tumor. Cuban has 14 years sobriety and says it's important to find your compassionate community to help you through the process. In Alpena, Stephanie Minichi, WBKB News.
Thanks for that, Stephanie. Well, there's more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, it's National Small Business Week, how you can help support Alpena's downtown shops. And meteorologist Ellie Morrison has your 7-day forecast next.
For sending us this photo. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@wbkb11.com.
As a kid, I always thought that was so cool.
Very nice.
Coming up on WBKB News, how social media is designed to be addictive, and Jake Vanderbrook will have the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
This week marks National Small Business Week, where we celebrate Americans, entrepreneurs, and small business owners.
Yeah, Sherry, and this past year has been like no other for our local stores and restaurants. So downtown Alpena is hosting a small business showcase this week to celebrate them. Downtown Alpena kicked off their small business showcase yesterday, looking to highlight the local stores in the area after a rough year battling the pandemic.
This idea came from our marketing and promotions committee. And we just wanted to celebrate our small businesses, especially after the very hard year everybody has had.
The showcase features 15 downtown businesses, and shoppers can win a prize basket in a drawing at the end of the showcase on Saturday.
We have some cool things like a Learn to Scuba experience from Great Lakes Divers. We have some gift cards, places like Parallel 45, Book and Gift, Red Brick Tap and Barrel. So just some different things there.
Kraft says there's a human connection made at small businesses that you won't find at big box stores. That's part of the reason she likes to showcase the local owners and the work they do.
Going to a big box store, you get the same experience every single time, and it becomes repetitive. It's great, and you know what to expect, but with a small business, you can have that person-to-person human experience and that human connection that I think is more, well, I know is more long-lasting and more sustainable.
To enter to win, all you have to do is shop at one of the stores taking part in the showcase. We have a list of all 15 participating businesses posted on our website. For more information and the full list of stores, head to WBKB11.com. Now, Sherry, we all joke about being addicted to our cell phones.
Yeah, my screen time was actually down this week. What about yours?
Not me.
Well, according to one doctor, that's not very far from the truth. Psychologist Sabrina Romanoff says mobile apps play on the brain's reward system similarly to addictive drugs. When we do things we enjoy, our brain releases a chemical called dopamine. Romanoff says many apps are built to provide multiple small dopamine hits and hook the brain. This translates to time on the app, which means more engagement and ad revenue for companies.
Mobile games, social media, all of these are designed to become more addictive. To when you see that notification on your phone, when you open the app and see the lights and the colors, all of it is kind of drawing you in.
Romanoff says a good first step for untangling yourself from social media is to learn more about how it's designed. Understanding why and how companies gain from your engagement can help you develop a healthier relationship with the online world.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vanderbrook is here with a preview. Jake, what's going on today?
Hey, Tyler, Sherry, Ellie, the viewers watching. Hope everyone had a great weekend. It's Monday. Extra Innings has made its way back for week 2. And early softball highlights between Atlanta and Alpena. Keep it here, ladies and gentlemen, because sports.
Welcome back. A 60 Minutes reporter is now taking the questions on Jeopardy, and the iconic band Genesis is reuniting for a tour. Danya Bacchus has your eye on entertainment.
Genesis is ready to turn it on again. The English rock band is hitting the road for the first tour after a 14-year hiatus.
I was out on the road for the last couple of years on and off and kind of got a bit of my mojo back. So I was open to the idea.
Phil Collins, along with founding members Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks, kick off the Last Domino Tour in Chicago on November 15th. Stops include New York, Washington, D.C., Detroit, and Toronto. Tickets go on sale Friday. 60 Minutes reporter Bill Whitaker is used to asking the hard questions. Now he'll provide the answers when he assumes hosting duties on Jeopardy today. Whitaker takes over for Anderson Cooper. He'll host for the next 2 weeks.
You pull a gun on your old man?
What are you talking about? I got the gun.
I could have killed you.
And Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock co-star as father and son in the horror thriller Spiral, the latest chapter from the Book of Saw. Rock plays Detective Zeke Banks, who's leading a grisly murder investigation. Zeke contends with working in his police veteran dad's shadow, while a criminal mastermind unleashes his own twisted form of justice. Spiral arrives in theaters May 14th. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
That's all we have for you this evening.
You can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
And check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
Be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.